The story begins with a young woman walking to a girls' meeting. Her name is Kin Onigawara, and she is the leader of the Supreme Five Swords group, which protects the coexistence between the boys and girls in the school. The leader tells his friends that a new threat has come to their school, and they need to do something about it right away. A transferred student named Fudo Nomura walks through the school gate. He hoped to have peace at his new school. Onigawara tells her friends that the transferred student might be a problem for them because he was expelled from his old school for starting a fight that injured around 40 students. As he walks around his new school, he is shocked to see that every student is carrying a weapon. A male student called Masuko is forced to wear makeup and coexist with other girls. Nomura mocks his outfit and accidentally refers to him as a Buddha statue. He then tells him that all boys have to dress like this so that they can coexist with other girls. He tells him to keep his head down and not make other girls upset. Nomura, on the other hand, laughs it off and says that he is a man who likes freedom. When he walked into his first class, Onigawara and his crew were waiting for him with swords. They cornered him in a corner and asked him why he wasn't wearing makeup. Nomura is not familiar with the school rules, so Onigawara tells him about the school's history. She said that Coexist's private academy used to be an all-girls school, but when boys joined, they started mistreating girls, so the girls created the Five Supreme Swords group so that they can keep order in the school. Onigawara gives him the choice to stay and wear makeup or leave the school. Nomura told her he wouldn't do either, which surprised everyone, including Masuko. She then tells Nomura that she will teach him a lesson before the end of homeroom. This scares him, and he hides under a skirt of a girl. He then says out the color of the girl's underwear, which gets everyone's attention while he jumps out the window and runs away. She keeps up with him and asks how far he plans to run. Nomura asks to be let out of the school. She tells him that he can't go anywhere until he gets permission from all 5 Supreme Swords members, while the other 5 members of the Supreme Swords watch them fight and talk about how Onigawara needs to finish Nomura before the next bell rings. Mazunono, her best friend, sees her fighting and gets up to help her. Onigawara's first attack comes close to cutting Nomura, and she is surprised by how easily he dodges her attacks. Another one of the Supreme 5 Swords tells us that Onigawara uses a technique called mirrored breathing. Each breath she focuses on makes her stronger and makes her better than anyone else in the world. A normal person wouldn't stand a chance against her. Then, Onigawara cuts Nomura's face with a carpenter's square technique. Nomura puts on the gloves that protect him from blades, and they keep fighting. Nomura eventually trips over a tree root, giving Onigawara the chance to do an outer rotation and use the cycle technique on Nomura. He moves to Onigawara's side and puts his hand on her side. If he hadn't moved, she would have killed him. She tells him he's dead and raises her blade, praising him for being able to touch her. He tells her that he's got a gun and that she's got a sword. Onigawara gives a happy smile and lifts the sword. Then, Nomura shoots Onigawara with the magic bullet, which stuns everyone watching except Amo. Then, Nomura tells Onigawara that he fixed the bad technique of a certain sword school, which stopped her from using her sword to hit him. Mazunono goes to the school grounds and hits Nomura on the head. This makes Nomura kiss Onigawara by accident, which breaks the left side of her mask and surprises both of them. When Nomura wakes up, he quickly moves back and argues with Mazunono about who was to blame for the kiss. Then, Onigawara grabs the sword, which scares both Nomura and Mazunono. She tries to convince her not to kill him, but she tells her she will. Nomura is taken aback. Later that day, Mazunono felt bad about what she had done to Onigawara when one of the Supreme 5 Sword members called Mary told her that her friend has embarrassed them and they needed to do something fast. Masuko is very surprised that he was able to beat Onigawara. Nomura says that his father taught him how to fight in the forest when he was a little boy. Masuko tells him that if he wants to leave the school for the weekend, he needs a permission slip from all the Supreme 5 Swords members, which includes Rin Onigawara, so he decides to get her a cake. The next day in class, he is the center of attention. Rumors of him kissing girls when they let their guard down has spread, and he then calls out Saki by her underwear color, which upsets her. While they were talking, another girl named Yunai Mijol tells him where to find Onigawara. He went to Masoku and asked him where the girl dormitory are and how he can get in without anyone noticing. Masoku was suspicious at first, but he tells him where and how to get in. In the next scene, a small child wearing a demon mask and walking with her mother. The whole scene is gray. Then it turns out that everything was just a dream. When Onigawara wakes up, she starts thinking about Nomura. She starts hitting her bed with her pillow and calling him names. When she calms down and remembers that it was the first time a boy kissed her, she gets angry again. She picks up her sword and puts on her mask that is broken on one side. She then turns toward the door, but Nomura comes in through the window, and when she tried to take her sword, he stopped her, and he gave her a cake as a gift. He then tells her that because of her mask, he couldn't tell yesterday that she was cute, but he got lucky and kissed her anyway, which makes her nervous. She tells Nomura that she won't give him a permit to leave no matter what. Nomura seems disappointed by her response, but then he says in an unexpected way that he wants to see her in her normal wear. She gives him the pass card because of this, but she passes out when Nomura says that a few more kisses would be a good trade for the pass card. Nomura grabbed her clothes to keep her from falling to the floor. She unintentionally pumped a button and showed her breasts, just as Masanona walked into the room, but she wouldn't listen to him. As Nomura tries to leave the girls' dorm, she presses a button that sets off a bunch of traps and tells him she will castrate him. While running, he meets the youngest member of the 5 Supreme Swords. She then challenges him to a fight. Then Masanona shows up and challenges him as well. Choka strikes first, but Nomura beats both of them with the same move. Onigawara is in charge of him because she made a mess in the girls' dorm, but Mary, one of the Supreme 5 Swords, wants to get back at him for beating her sister. She tries to attack him, but Onigawara stops Mary while the little sister chases after Nomura. When Nomura met the Empress, he remembered what she did to him. The Empress says that Nomura is still too weak to fight her, but Nomura doesn't agree. He tries to hit her, but Mary pulls his attention away. She is very angry at him and wants to kill him. Because Mary is a bit skilled, she was able to cut him, but Nomura is very strong and used an ancient technique to stop her. Mary had to take care of him because she lost the fight, but rumors were going around that he was flirting with Nomura. This made the oldest member of the Supreme 5 Swords member angry, so he decided to teach them a big lesson. The next day, he beat and tied Masuko to the assembly pole. When Nomura saw this, he tried to help, but Mary and Onigawara stopped him. Then Hanasaka tells him the rules of the game if he wants to save Masuko. Hanasaka says he has to wrestle a bear. At first, he was scared, but he had to do it because he wanted to get Masuko down. He tries to attack the bear and uses an ancient technique, but the bear dodges it. Everyone is surprised by this, since the technique has been shown to work. This makes the bear angry, so it attacks him hard. He avoids the attack and remembers what his master taught him about fighting when he was a child, and he manages to lift the bear. Because of this, he wins the match, but Hanasaka won't let Nomura go without a mark. She set up a trap and invite Nomura to come and get the permission stamp from her as a reward for his victory, but on his way, he faces a group of girls with weapons, and with the help of Nano and Shoka they beat them up. Nomura and Mary manages to find Hanasaka. Mary goes to stop some of the Hanasaka men, while Onigawara face Hanasaka and Nomura faces the bear again. Everyone manages to win their battle. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for part 2.